Hello there, and welcome to What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, hosted by me, Fiona. This week, I'm joined by my friends Tristen, Noel, and extra special guest GM Rob from the Realm of Fire podcast for Numenera, a science fantasy tabletop role-playing game set in the far distant future, written by Monty Cook and published by Monty Cook Games. They say there have been 8 worlds before ours. 8 times the people of this earth over the vast millennia built their civilizations, reaching heights we cannot even fully imagine now. They spoke to the stars, reshaped the creatures of the world, and mastered form and essence. They built cities and machines that have since crumbled to dust, leaving only their barest remains. This is the 9th world. The people of the prior worlds are gone, scattered, disappeared, or transcended. But their works remain in the places and devices that still contain some germ of their original function. The ignorant call these magic, but the wise know that these are our legacy. They are our future. They are the Numenera. You can find out more about Numenera and buy your own copy on the Monty Cook Games website. That's montycookgames.com. I'll add links to it on the What Am I Rolling website and in this episode's show notes. Just a quick note here, we are playing an adaptation of the adventure Beneath the Pyramid, which can be found in Weird Discoveries 10 Instant Adventures for Numenera. If you're looking to play this adventure and don't wish to be spoiled in any way, stop listening just now and come back when you're ready. So here's how Numenera works. Numenera uses the Cipher system, a hugely popular rule set that powers other well-known RPGs, such as Vert, which we've played on this podcast before. Lauded for its elegance, ease of use, flexibility, and narrative focus, the Cipher system unleashes the creativity of GMs and players, with intuitive character creation, fast-paced gameplay, and a uniquely GM-friendly design. Our guest GM Rob does an amazing job of explaining the main game mechanics, so I won't go into too much detail about them here. The main thing to remember is this. When determining the success or failure in any kind of action, the GM assigns a difficulty to the task on a scale of 1 to 10, a 1 being extremely simple, whilst a 10 represents a Herculean task beyond the means of most mortals. Once the GM has assigned this difficulty, the rest is up to the players. The players must apply their skills and experience, tools and other advantages, aid from one another and other assets in order to reduce this difficulty. They can also focus a limited resource called effort to further lower the difficulty of actions really important to them. Once the player has reduced the difficulty as much as they're able to, they roll a d20. The target number they have to beat is equal to 3 times the difficulty set by the GM. A massive, massive thank you to our guest GM Rob for running Numenera for us. I've known Rob from a couple of RPG streams we both played in, and he's been on before running Vert for us, and it was an absolute joy to have him back to run this particular game for us. Rob is one part of the Realm of Fire podcast, a podcast about hot Warhammer takes from 2 grown-ass middle-aged men. Their words, not mine. If you can handle scalding hot opinions on Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar Soulbound, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Dark Heresy, and many, many more games, this is the podcast for you. Listen to the Realm of Fire podcast wherever you find podcasts. One last thing before we begin. Naturally, there are times in this one-shot where the players and myself, mostly myself, get the rules wrong or forget something plot-wise. Whilst we always endeavour to stick to the rules wherever possible, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and what matters most is that everyone enjoys themselves. So, with all that out of the way, let's play Numenera.
So welcome to Numenera. This is a tabletop RPG, as all the games are on What Am I Rolling?
Correct.
A game set in the very, very, very distant future. We are set on Earth a billion years in the future. It's not post-apocalyptic, it's post-apocalyptic. It's referred to as the 9th world because there have been 8 eons of human occupation of this planet, and this is the 9th one. Not much is known of these previous 8. It's been sort of theorized that within that time, there was one eon where Earth was occupied by an alien force or occupation. In one eon, the ability to travel through time was mastered and then promptly forgotten. And in another eon, the ability to manipulate matter was discovered and also forgotten. So this is Earth in no way that we know it. The world is now a giant supercontinent, Pangea-like, and is covered in the detritus of these previous worlds. In a way, not in a post-apocalyptic, there's a mysterious shop over the hill and it's a blockbuster. It's more, you will see that hill, and actually it turns out that that hill is the body of an ancient machine that stopped working 10,000 years ago, but the generators are still thrumming, and it is currently full of creatures that have been bioengineered by a roving band of nanites that have gone, crazy and started melding people together. So this is a very science fantasy world. I think touchstones would be things like Jack Vance's Dying Earth, Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun. Adventure Time. Adventure Time is very Numenera-like, that kind of weird extra world forward. So it's very fantastical. It's very horrific. There is a lot of body horror, but I can't see that coming up in this adventure particularly. We're going for a nice one. And really, what do you need to know about it? You are a group of 3 explorers who all know each other. You are all members of an organization known as the Amber Gleaners, and they are the sort of investigators of the world, the Indiana Joneses, where your sort of role within the group is to explore these ruins of previous lives, find the technology, or the Numenera, as it is known, and retrieve it, find out what it does, sell it, pass it on, search for it for knowledge's sake, search for it for money's sake. Either way, it's about exploring and investigating, and that is the crux of Numenera. You generate experience through exploration, not through combat. Discovering, you are encouraged to put your hand in that hole that you see and see what's at the other end of it. It's very unlikely it'll be an orb of destruction, but just put your hand in anyway and see what you find. I'll do a quick run through of the rules, and then each of you can introduce your characters and we will move on. So the rules of Numenera are particularly simple, why I like it as a game. It's run on what's called the cipher system. All you need to know at a base level is that everything in this game has a value of 1 to 10. So I always use an example of a door. I might say there's a level 3. Well, I probably won't tell you the level, but I'll say there's a door in front of you, and I know it's level 3. If you want to kick that door open, you need to pass a level 3 check. If you want to pick the lock of that door, it's a level 3 check. If you want to charm the door so that it opens because this door is sentient for some reason, it's a level 3 check. It's as simple as that. When you want to know what you need to roll, you look at the task difficulty and then you times it by 3, and that is what you need to roll equal to or over on a D20. So that level 3 door would require a 9 or more on a D20 to kick open, to pick the lock of, or to charm. But I hear you cry. What happens when it's level 7? You can't roll a 21 or more on a D20. The characters in the cipher system are able to bring that level down, that task difficulty down. That's how the players have agency. And this can be done in a number of ways. If you've got an appropriate skill, if you had the skill door kicking, you could say, Rob, I've got the skill door kicking, does that apply? And I'll say, yes, that definitely does apply. So that level 3 task becomes a level 2 task. Brilliant. If someone wants to help you out, that drops it down by another level. 2 of you are kicking at the door. That would bring it down to level 1. You might have a bit of equipment that seems absolutely perfect for it. The classic example being you're wanting to climb and you've got ropes and I can't remember the names of them, spikes, big metal spikes. I might say,
Kittens.
Thank you. That gives you an asset. So you drop down 1 level. The only bit of the system that's a bit complicated, I find, is you've got 3 pools. You have might, speed, and intellect. They are there to let you spend points to put a bit of effort in. If you really want to do something, you can spend 3 points from the appropriate pool. So you might say, I want to kick down the door. That's a might check. I'm going to spend 3 points, and that drops the level down by 1. Now, I do need to warn you about that because those pools are also your hit points. So the more that you expend doing things, the more tired you're going to be. It's a drain on you physically. So if you put a load of effort into everything you do, and then you walk into a combat, there's a good chance you're just going to fall over. So they are a resource to be spent as and when. But I will give you guidance. This is a first-time game, nice, easy one. I will give you guidance on when it might be appropriate to spend points and when not. To begin with, I will tell you the levels of things. I'll probably say this is a level 3 task, this is a level 4 task. When we get into about the second half, I'm going to stop doing that. And that's when you have to start making judgment calls about when to spend effort and when not to. I'll give you clues. I'm not going to, if I say this gigantic dragon is heading towards you, you might think that's probably a high level. That's probably, and then I'm like, no, it's level 1. So I will be fair in that way. You all have abilities that often cost a point or two to use. They're usually quite self-explanatory, but if they're really not, just let me know and I will explain it to you. Combat is done exactly the same. An enemy will have a level. That's what you need to roll to hit it, and that's what you need to roll to avoid its attack. It's as simple as that. The GM never rolls a dice in Numenera. It's entirely on you. So it's very player-driven. And that is honestly all you need to know at the moment. I would like you to introduce your character, your name, and every character in Numenera is constructed from 3 parts: your descriptor, your type, and your focus. And that gives you a nice little sentence that you can rolls off the tongue and gives you a good beat of who your character is. So starting with Ridge Ferrante. Ferrante, you can choose how it's pronounced. It's your character.
Hello, I'm Ridge Ferrante. I'm a curious Arcus and I act without consequences. I just do what I like. I'm a member of a secret society, but shh, I don't tell people that. It's on the low. And I'm Tristen playing.
Spoilers! Who are you?
Who was that mysterious man? And for the non-Numenera players out there, an Arcus is the equivalent of like a diplomat or a speaker, someone who can talk their way out of trouble. Okay. Next we have Red Yoru. Yoru, you choose.
All right. Hello, I am Red Yoru.
Yes.
I'm a clever Jack who works the back alleys. Basically, I'm a little bit rude and a little bit way, but I'm trying to go straight these days. We'll see how that goes.
Yes. I like how it's a billion years in the future and somehow Cockney-wide men have survived.
Yeah.
So yes, a Jack is a Jack of all trades. The closest D&D equivalent would be a rogue, but literally Jack of all trades. A little bit woo, a little bit way, a little bit shh. And finally we have, well, I don't know how to pronounce that,
right.
So I'm going to let Fiona do that.
So my name is Auril, and I am a graceful glaive who exists partially out of phase. So whether or not, I'm sure Rob will tell me more about this, but I like the idea of just constantly shimmering. If we take a picture, like a family portrait, I'm constantly blurred and they're like, just stand still. I'm like, I'm trying. Like, just sort of a very serious, stony faced woman. But you, again, just that whole, I like the idea, again, that whole shift where, when it's like a Matrix style, one of the agents going back and forth, a little bit like that as well.
I think this is a almost like an affliction that you can't quite control.
Okay.
And there's times when, do you remember when you used to have a mouse that you drag and it'd leave a trail of mice behind you on the screen? That would, if you lose control, occasionally that effect can happen.
Constantly turning around, like very like 80s music video style.
Fantastic. And a glaive is the equivalent of a fighter / warrior / barbarian / punch. So yes, punch.
Yeah.
So that is our team.
Mm-hmm.
You are all members, as I mentioned earlier, of an organization called the Amber Gleamers, and you have been sent on an expedition. You are to go to the south of the sort of civilized part of the world, which is known as the Steadfast, to the cold desert of Methunis, to the settlement of Kodrin, and from there then travel to a ruin known as the Black Pyramid that has recently manifested itself in the desert. Basically, the Amber Gleamers want you to go have a look. You're the forward team. So whatever you can find in there, come back with a bit of recon.
Does this always happen? That something like because a Black Pyramid just seems to just phase in. Is that a normal occurrence? Can I ask, as a non-Numenera player?
There is nothing normal in Numenera.
Okay.
I think that is what to consider. A Black Pyramid phasing into existence.
It's not a normal Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, but things phase in and I mean, you literally phase in and out of existence as we are talking. So, it's very, I was about to say one of the worst things I've ever said there. It was very timey-wimey, and then I almost hurt myself because I understand that phrase. Matt Smith was the worst Doctor. Okay, so...
Well, wasn't it David Tennant that said timey-wimey?
Yes, he was, yeah.
Well, either of them terrible. You have arrived at the town of Codron, and this is a low-lying settlement made up of sort of white-painted adobe buildings. Think a Tunisian sort of settlement or Mos Eisley from Star Wars, that kind of low-lying desert building. The desert it lies in, Mafunis, is known as the Cold Desert, as an incredibly cold wind blows from the south over a rather large ice wall over the desert, freezing the whole area. And as you arrive in Codron, you can see that there's the town, and then probably about half a mile away, but maybe a bit closer, is a huge racetrack that's been dug into the desert. Very Circus Maximus from Rome, or Star Wars Pod Racer from those films, which shall not be named. But that exists out of side of Codron, and it looks like the races are on. As you cross the final hill, the final dune to see Codron, you can see dust clouds and crowds have gathered at the races, and you can see tiny specks of creatures racing round and round and round, and the whole town appears to be there. There are banners, there is music blaring, fireworks being shot into the air. What do you want to do? But this is your first encounter. I should say in the very, very far east, shimmering, you can see the faint outline of a hovering black pyramid. It's going to be a couple of days walk away, but you can see it because of the desert being very flat.
Did you say it was hovering?
Sorry, did I not mention that?
No.
It's a hovering black pyramid.
Pyramid, that changes everything.
Yeah. I'm going home. No.
First thing we arrive, while we're on top of this hill, I'm going to look at this city and this racetrack, and I'm just going to go, oh my God, this is the ugliest city that I've ever seen. And I was told it would be tropical. I packed my swimsuit.
It is freezing. It is really cold.
Auril, what is this? What is this?
I like the idea that Auril and Red Yoru are dressed up properly.
Mate, what were you thinking? You're not going to get your swim trunks out in this weather.
I thought there would be a sun. I thought there would be water. I thought that, there would be something to do. Not everyone would watch around the wheels and be like, oh, circles. That's not interesting, Red.
Desert doesn't always mean warm. It can be cold. Read the small print. But I fancy it a little bit of a flutter at the races. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I guess there is nothing better to do in this small Forsaken city. We will just go to the track. It is fine. I'm not mad.
Okay, the three of you make your way down. It is a quite ugly city, actually. The three of you are from, as I say, a more civilized region of the world known as the Steadfast. You are now stepping into what is known colloquially as the Beyond, which is sort of the uninvestigated areas. And this is, it's not particularly pretty, but as you get closer, the three of you are immediately sort of taken up in the festivities. You feel that kind of like cheer. There's families, there's crowds. As I say, there's fireworks going off. I'm picturing in Rise of Skywalker when they go to that festival of the life, and there's lots of colours and lights and everything, and the races are you can feel it as you approach the vibration as you get closer, and as you get closer, you can see what's being raced. Giant insects, sort of big six-legged, rather large beetle creatures, which you all know as ruckamoles. They are just sort of popular race creatures around this part. And you can see, you've never seen them in person, you've heard of them, and they're going at a hell of a pace. As you get closer, you're actually approached by a rather tall, well-built person by the name of Godra. They come towards you, extend a hand. They are wearing a suit of armor that almost looks insectoid in its design, and they have a axe which is sort of hovering alongside them as they come towards you. They stride towards the three of you and extend a hand out to Red Yorrow, I'm going to say. Not in a I'm ignoring Ridge and Auril way. Just Red, you appear. You're the one at the front. And yes, they extend their hand to you.
Well, it would be rude not to return the favour, so I extend my hand back, give him my meatiest handshake, to impress upon him my strength and ability.
Yes, your meatiest handshake is not enough. There is that moment of and yes, they introduce themselves to Gordra. Hello, you're from the Amber Gleaners, I believe.
Yeah, we are. We saw all the action down here and thought we'd come and check out the action after a bit of see what the betting action is. I see you're racing Rockamons. I know a thing or two about them. Got any tips?
I, unfortunately, as the justice of the peace in this area, I'm not allowed to make any bets nor tips.
We see the badge flutter now.
However, I been told to lead you to the mayor of the town, Hayeth. On that, just immediately just turn on their heels.
Do you have any tips?
They might have tips. They immediately turn. Gordra turns on their heels and heads away from you in a sort of follow me fashion towards what looks like probably the VIP box. There's a raised platform and a little VIP box.
That's fun. I didn't want to shake his hand anyways.
It's all right. I got his watch.
That is good. I will wear it until I switch my dominant. Can I buy it?
No, I'm not getting it out while he's still around.
I'm going to make you all. This is our first roll of the game now. I'm going to make you all take a perception check. Now, I'm going to tell you it's level 3. So you're going to need a 9 or more on a d20. Before you roll anything, however, this is when if you have an appropriate skill, tell me, and I will say yes or no, and that would drop the level down. If you want to put any effort in, it would come from your intellect pool. Now, there is one little mechanism I didn't tell you about, which is you might have an edge in one of your pools, or maybe one or more of your pools. If you do have an edge, that's actually like a little inbuilt discount. So rather than costing 3 points to put effort in, it will cost 2 points. That's your pool that you are particularly specialized at.
So when I do my roll, I'm skilled in both perception and detecting falsehood, piercing disguises, or illusions.
Okay, so perception will be enough. You only ever get one relevant skill, but yes, perception definitely comes into that.
Good to know.
It's a level 2 task for yourself.
Right. Who else is? Because I've got a couple that I think might be handy, but I'm not sure which one to use because I've got assessing or identifying danger and lies, or assessing, but I think Ridge might already have that covered. And then I've got assessing quality and importance. And then I've got assessing function and power.
No, I'm going to be a bit mean there and say none of them do apply at this point.
That makes my decision easy. I'm not going to use any of them then.
All my skills are based in fight and speed. I don't look anywhere. So
Auril falls down a hole.
Yeah. Auril's wearing like sunglasses or something. So yeah, it would be a straight roll from Auril, who all this time has deliberately, it's not someone with many words, but is like just constantly looking really fucking cool at the back and is just following what these two do. And if anything, if Rye sort of moves ahead and like wait, like handouts, whilst like children or something rush by, like woo, it's like go, like that's the plan. But yeah, it will just be a straight roll from Auril.
Brilliant. So if it's a straight roll, which I believe it is for Auril and Red Yarrow, it's a 9 or more on a d20, and for Ridge, it is a 6 or more on a d20.
No.
Ooh, 17.
17, fantastic. Ridge, did you score a 1?
I got a 1.
Fantastic. So yes, there are criticals and there are fumbles effectively. In the Cypher system, they're known as intrusions. These are normally a way to generate XP, but in this case, if you roll a 1, I get to put a intrusion into this, and you don't get any XP for it. Just something bad happens. So I'm going to ask Ridge to roll me a d6, please.
D6, okay.
I would say Auril tries to help, but she got a 2, so no.
I got a 3.
Fantastic. Could you minus 3 shins from your money,
money,
please? You were so perceptive, you missed the child picking your pocket.
Fuck.
However, Red Yoro, you see what you were meant to see. And as you're sort of heading to the VIP area, just sort of a little bit closer to it, there's a little bit of excitement in the crowd. Not like danger or anything, but voices are going up a little bit, and there's like then people are gathering, almost like, you know, when you could half hear someone excited in the pub, but you're not sure if they're about to kick off or not. That's what you can hear, and it's at the sort of the foot of the VIP bit. So yes, you can either follow up onto the VIP bit and go meet the mayor, or you can just go and poke your head and see what's going on there.
Shall we check out this kerfuffle, guys? There might be a celebrity. There might be an autograph in it. What do you reckon?
Let's go.
Okay, that is exactly what it is. As you make your way through the crowd, you have the ability to sort of push your way through. It's like you're at a bar with students, so you just get them out of the way.
Always elbows first.
I know how to work a crowd.
Yeah. You get to the front, and yes, sat on a ruckamole is a rather dashing chap. What, sorry?
He's in the bar on this creature, or is it outside?
No, I was comparing it to pushing through students at a bar. Yeah, it's very easy
I'm sorry.
to do.
I thought we were now in the bar, and this this asshole essentially has come in on that steed. Okay, sorry.
No, sorry. Yes, you push in and sat on a ruckamole, which is painted this beautiful crimson colour. It's almost like they've painted the carapace of the creature. Is an incredibly dashing guy. He's obviously a rider, but he's in the most flamboyant outfit you've seen. And in fact, has not only painted on the side of his ruckamole, but stitched into his clothing what you would assume to be his name, which is Iolus. And he is holding court amongst everyone. There are people trying to push to get autographs, and he's obviously just come off the track being victorious. He's sort of holding court with all these people. And as he sees the three of you push through, as amber gleaners, you do have a sort of identification badge. It's a small circle. You there, amber gleaners, to the front, and beckons you towards him.
Prick, under my breath. Okay.
All right, Oral, don't kick it off just because he's a bit of an arse. Just give him a chance.
Hate him already. Okay.
When I walk up, can I walk right in front of him, kind of turn around and cross my legs and sit on his lap and be like, Yolas, and give him a hug?
Yes, you absolutely can. As you do, there's like a moment where he is a bit like, oh, but then realizes this would be quite a good photo opportunity. So he then goes with it and sort of does it, hugs you back, and it says, "Oh, one of our friends, from the Steadfast." And then immediately puts his hand on your chest and just sort of pushes you away in that kind of hug. But that's enough now.
I think you might have got this guy pegged, Oral, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
gut reaction.
He dismounts from the ruckamole. It very lands, and you didn't realize that underneath his clothes, he's obviously got bells sewn into a lot of the clothing, so he sort of jangles as he lands. So you can imagine when he's
always know where he is.
You can imagine when he's racing, it's a noise.
I'd just like to point out at this point, there are people recording this on their phones because there's kind of audio version of Instagram in this version of the 9th generation, and this is the real moment.
It's known as the data sphere in this, which is a sort of alternate dimension that we would most closely recognize as the internet. But yes, definitely there are tiny floating cameras going about, sort of whipping around and taking photos and whipping off, or scanning it rather than doing a selfie. What they will do is they'll scan the 3D representation so that someone later in the data sphere can go and interact with the 3D representation. So yes, this is definitely going on all around. There's very much a buzz. And Yolas comes towards you, Auril, and sort of puts a hand on your shoulder.
Don't fucking touch me.
As it's coming in and you say that,
I wouldn't.
Of course, yes. I apologize. I just assume people want to touch me. And
That is rude. That is ignorant. How dare you assume something like that?
He
That's from the diplomat of the group.
That's from the diplomat, yes. come, enjoy, another successful race for Iolaus. Follow me. And he heads towards the VIP section as well.
I turn to Red, and I go, did he just refer to himself in the third person?
I'm afraid so. But he's heading for the VIP area. There's pickpocketing heaven in there. I'll have a bit of that.
All right.
Although you did persuade me to go straight, so I need you to watch me and make sure that I don't stray too far.
I'll keep you in my sights, but I might be blinded by this much bullshit happening in this VIP that if something goes awry, I think I'll be fine. I'll let you off this once, Red.
All right, cheers, mate.
So Iolaus bounds up the stairs and sort of at the top of them turns and addresses the crowd almost like a Roman senator and declares, Iolaus is here, and heads into the main bit.
I'll then turn to Ryan. I go, don't get any ideas about referring to yourself in the third person.
Do I look like I would do something like that? No, I am more.
You are very impressionable.
I'm not impressionable. Okay, Raj is the least impressionable person that I know.
You're also very defensive about criticism.
So
that is valid.
Okay.
I will only from you will I accept that.
Okay.
Three of you follow him into the it's like a pavilion that's been set up. There's stairs up, and then there's a curtain you go through, and then there's the seating area where the VIPs can watch the racing. With there's like a veil set up, so the VIPs can see out without people being able to look in. It's kind of obscured a little bit. And as you come through the curtain, Iolaus is there, and he is just sort of sat completely splayed out on one of the chairs with a bottle of something. And the first thing he says as you step in, he goes, fucking hell. Oh, that was a lot. And he's just completely changed countenance. The showman is gone. All his bright clothes are just dumped on the floor. And he's literally wearing like the equivalent of a loincloth. And he looks absolutely like knackered. He's almost like he's come off and done 5 rounds, like in a boxing match kind of thing. And he's just like, oh my God, you're right there. As you step in, get a drink, sit down. Mayor will be here in a second.
All right. Iolaus, this is a new side to you. So what's with the performance? Is that you destined to win this race? Is it a fix?
People want to see me do that, and they'll pay money, but I can't do it all day.
So it's a lie?
It's an act.
That sounds like a lie.
I have to say, you came across as a prick, but now I have a little bit of respect for you that you're not completely like that.
He stands and with a smile and says, no, I am a prick.
Oh. I still respect you.
I was about to say, anyone who pretends to be like that is even more of a prick.
That's a choice now. From the other side of the pavilion, the curtain flutters and Gordra steps in, and with them is a lady on a sort of, almost like imagine a metallic disc that's hovering and she's sat on it. So it's not a full hover chair or anything. It's just a small disc that hovers in that she is sat on, if that makes any sense. And as Gordra sees the 3 of you are now here, they sort of nod at Iolaus in a kind of way. And then says, the Amber Gleaners, may I present Hyaphon, the mayor of the town. And Hyaphon gives you the biggest smile, very Miriam Margolyes style, just like very warm and embracing, and says, oh, you've come to Codron. Finally, our little town will get some recognition.
Oh my God. I love you. Is there room on your disc? May I sit with you? And I'm
absolutely not.
All right, Ree. You can't sit on everyone.
What is it with the laps, Ridge? What is it with
not on her lap, but on the disc so we can talk like I would be on the left.
Practically would be on her lap.
It would be on her lap. She is very much like sat like, I'm doing a fun
like
little
a tiny bar stool. That's what I'm imagining.
Yes, imagine a bar stool without the legs and it hovers with you. Which, why has no one invented that?
So I like your hovering. Is that the same hovering that you used to get the pyramid up?
Oh, the pyramid. You're here for the pyramid. The reference to the pyramid she then realizes you're not here for Codron, you're here for the pyramid. And there's sort of a moment of just like, no, we haven't looked at the pyramid yet. We're hoping we can make something of it. Maybe, if someone would investigate it and we can find out if it's safe, then maybe, it'll become part of our little, society here. But no, we haven't been to the pyramid, not yet.
If it's hovering, maybe you could tow it over here, claim it as like a tourist attraction.
Absolutely, though the pyramid of Codron. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
We could investigate that for you. We just need to know what you will give us.
Well, she won't give you anything. You've been directed by the Anne McGleaners to go and have a look at it.
He doesn't know that.
We'll take this pyramid off your hands. No worries.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I'm more interested about the sort of ruins under the pyramid. That's where my personal interest lies. You see, there was a city and then there was the pyramid. And that might be old Codron under it. And it'd be quite interesting if you could find out about that. That would be something we could definitely... and she's trying to not say the words financially exploit. She's trying to, find a way around that. But,
like a museum.
Like a museum, like a living museum. Imagine old Codron. Yes, that's a very good idea.
People must be sick of your racetrack. You need something the city's going to see.
Oh, the racetracks are very popular. And that she takes a bit of offense. That's a little bit.
Well, I mean, Iolaus here is he's kind of, a character.
From the corner, you hear a quite loud, and Iolaus stands up with a bit of sick on his mouth. And sorry about that.
Good grief.
But I can't believe I flirted with him.
If you're quite proud of the races, have you got any tips? I'm gagging for a tip here, mate. I'm
guessing Iolaus is out.
Coins burning a hole in my pocket here.
Your best bet, wait till the last race of the day. Iolaus will be out of his mind on the local brew, then bet on him. You'll get the best odds.
Wait, you're saying a drunkard would win the last race?
At that, Iolaus suddenly flashes into his acting and says, not a drunkard, Iolaus!
So wait, my other question is, you have an old version of this city that you don't know what happened to it, and yet you're within at least 3 or 4 miles of the old city. Is that not a problem in case this city becomes an old city very quickly?
Well, I hadn't really thought of that, but no. I mean, we've always thought it was a victim of the Iron Wind. So, a little bit of background here. Let's step back. The Iron Wind is a phenomenon in the world of Numenera, in the Ninth World. It is a giant cyclone or a dust storm or even a tsunami that breathes across the world, composed entirely of nanites. If you are caught in the Iron Wind, it's one of the worst things that can happen to you. In a matter of seconds, you'll be rendered down into whatever matter you were composed of and then reconstructed into something else, and you might still be alive. It's an absolutely awful fate. The most sort of valuable Numenera you can find is something that can redirect the Iron Wind or contain it or produce a force field. And most cities will have a way of preventing the Iron Wind from sweeping over because it can just wipe out continent. It can wipe out whole cities in one go. And so you are very aware of this as characters that have lived on this world. This is just something as much as you three know about the rain on the planet Earth, you would know about the Iron Wind on the Ninth World.
So does that wind happen fairly often? Will we see it in this one shot?
In this one shot, behind the curtain, no.
Okay.
Behind the curtain, no.
Okay, so it's not like as regular as rain, but it's like once in...
It's about as close as you would know about flooding, like extreme flooding.
Okay.
It happens, you know about it, you may never experience it, or you may.
Natural disaster.
Yeah, no, natural disaster, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly that.
That makes a lot more sense than me just going, oh God, these cities are getting raised every other day.
You check the nanite forecast for today.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been like, yeah, it's very nasty. You can be sort of like broken down and then rebuilt, but you're half in the floor, but you're still alive, and it's it's not good. It's a bad way to go.
It's nasty.
Yeah. So yes, back to you. So you are aware when she refers to the Iron Wind, you are well aware of what the Iron Wind is.
So the pyramid, did the city get ruined and then the pyramid appeared? or did the pyramid appear and then the city got ruined?
The city was ruined. They were old ruins. They've been out there for some time. And then this pyramid appeared about, and then she looks at Godra, and Godra says, 3 weeks, Mom. About 3 weeks ago, phased into being.
Also, sorry, I didn't clarify. Is this pyramid like a stood-up pyramid, or is it an upside-down pyramid?
Who wants a little picture of a pyramid?
I would love to see a picture of a pyramid.
That'd be goodly.
For the viewers at home, I am now presenting, for the listeners at home, I am now presenting a picture of the pyramid to...
As we look outside the window.
To the players, and then they can explain what it is. That is...
Well, that's not ominous at all.
I believe I've stayed in that in New Las Vegas.
Yes, it is the Luxor Hotel that is hovering above the ruins. A typical Egyptian pyramid raised off the ground, made of pure black material.
But because from what I see in the picture, not only does it look like pure black, like you can't see the brick to brick, is if you see like in it, it kind of looks like a reflection of the clouds. Like it's a reflective pyramid.
It's got a sheen.
Yeah.
It's got a sheen.
It's also fucking massive.
It's huge. It's really...
It's much bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
If it's Marmite flavoured, I ain't going nowhere near it. Because it does look a bit Marmite-y from a distance.
Not after last time.
You can use Codron as a base as much as you want to investigate, but if you could, have a look around and bring back some information, that would be just fantastic.
So has anyone? It's been there 3 weeks. Has anyone had a go yet? Has any?
Yeah. No, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
Of course.
Yeah. Plus, we had the races to arrange, so no.
We were waiting. You knew we were coming, so we thought, why waste any locals on it? Right. We've got a couple of outsiders.
Exactly. There's a good chance the Amber Gleaners sort of were in contact to be like, don't worry, we'll investigate this. So you've been, you're
hands off.
Yes, hands off for a little bit as well. Yeah, okay. No. Yeah.
So I have an idea. We can look around during the races and it'll be good. It'll be memorable. We'll have times, even though like the cities. And then you will announce that we are going to the pyramids and everyone will know. So it'll be a big attraction, bring in the shins, like the coins. And then Yola's here as this city hero who apparently wins all the races, even though he is plastered. Somehow will escort us to the pyramid as this grand hero. And then we will come back with news of culture and treasure. And you can be like, oh, look what our racers did. We will hold another special event where we will take our people's money so that we can build more pubs for the tourists who come by expecting beaches who now need something to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What a great plan. That's why he's the leader.
Excellent plan, yes.
I do think you're saying he's impressionable. I think Wallace is definitely rubbing off on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll let it slide this once.
He's not talking in the third person yet.
I'm going to say that's exactly what you do. I'm going to use that. That is a full-on montage. That is what you do. Red Yarrow, throw me 1d20, please.
Right, okay, I will throw you.
That's fine. Now, throw me a d6, please. And you want to get high.
I do. I want to get high. 1.
What are you doing?
So after a couple of bets, in the end, you come down at -3 shins.
Okay.
Not the end of the world.
No,
you don't make any money, but unfortunately, you come out at a loss.
You win some, you lose some.
The 3 of you spend the rest of the night enjoying the races, drinking the local brew, resting up after your long travel, and in the morning, you set off with Yorl to the Black Pyramid. Beautiful morning, bright blue skies, cold, freezing cold. Even Ridge has learned to actually put some clothes on at this point. And the 3 of you, accompanied by an incredibly hungover Yorl, go out across the desert. Yorl's brought his racer with him. He's not walking. The 3 of you will have to walk, though, unfortunately. Unless you want to spend whatever shins you have on maybe a portable flotation device for your equipment, or probably a lot cheaper pack animal, just some creature.
How much are they?
How many shins have you got?
No, how much are they?
Oh, I have 9 shins.
God's sake.
I tell you what, throw me a d20, Oral.
You're all.
Oral.
Oral.
There's two.
Oral.
Oh my God.
It's okay, that's like... Well,
Yeah, we seem to be travelling with a Yorl. I thought it was Rollis.
That's how I'm phasing in and out.
That's on me. That's on me.
Dude, that's okay. That's a 12.
12 shins it will cost. If anyone wants to do a little bit of arguing, it'll be an intellect check, maybe with assess value as a skill.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Listen, I understand that you want 12 shows, but we are also guests. We are contributing to the economy of the city, and we know Yolis, okay? And I have some gossip. Do you like gossip? If you cut down the price, the more you cut it down, the more deep gossip I'll give you. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but...
For the listeners at home, Ridge is miming, drinking, and throwing up.
You're drinking tea. I think he's trying. It's the tea.
Oh, this is my impression of Yolis. He is like, I am so great.
I don't know if that counts as gossip or a widely known fact.
No, but I know other things.
He knows many things.
Throw me an intellect check then, please, with things like any appropriate skills, such as bargain or charm or anything like that.
I have persuasion and public speaking.
Persuasion's good.
I will give you an impromptu talk.
If I use 3 points for my intellect pool, I get...
another level down. Yeah.
Okay. But I have an edge, so I only need to use 2 points.
Perfect.
I'm going to use 2 points, so my pool is going from 16 to 14.
Sure.
And
your skills, you knock it down by 2 levels.
What have you rolled?
I got a 7.
Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. 7's more than enough. It was level 3, so you knocked it down to level 1. You only needed 3 or more. Yeah. You can knock a task down to 0 and make it automatic. That is perfectly viable. There isn't you must always roll. It's a very player-friendly game, Numenera. It's designed to let players actually do stuff. Great. Yeah, you get it with your impassioned plea and persuasions. You get it for 6 shins. Basically, imagine a ostrich, but with the head of a velociraptor as a baggage animal. And so you can hook your explorer packs onto that, and that will carry them for you.
And who's paying? Ariel or me?
I'll chip in 3 if you chip in the other 3.
Yes, I have 9 right here, and I count my money, and I'm like, I only have 6.
Oh,
I was robbed. Oh my gosh, we need to talk with the police.
I think they've long gone at this point.
You're long gone, mate. It's gone. Just you got to eat that one.
Yeah.
Come on. We've got a black pyramid to be investigating. Can't be worrying about 3 bloody shins.
We'll get them later. Those rapscallion children.
Later, yes, they will pay. They will pay dearly.
They'll repay. Yeah.
Yes, with interest.
Sure. Right.
I'm gonna give the 3 shins, and as I give them, I'm going to say, Yola is cheating on his wife. You should spread that around.
This hasn't come up yet, but Yolas has a husband. Does not have a wife.
I would step in and go, this is obviously unconfirmed rumours, you'd understand. But need to know basis.
Basis, but start telling people.
Anyway, that was the past. We cut to now, and you are crossing the desert with your pack beast. Are you going to give it a name?
Oh yeah. So what are we going to call our velociraptor?
We should call him Blue. So we have red and blue, and then we can be the purple trio.
Bluey's good for me.
Bluey.
Okay.
Bluey.
I hope this doesn't come back to bite us in any way, shape, or form.
If we get another one, we can call it Kablooey.
Kablooey.
So the 3 of you make your way. As you get closer, the pyramid obviously looms larger above you, and you start getting a better sense of the ruins below it. It does look like it's almost as if someone has taken the cauldron that you know and then reduced it half in size in terms of there's no roofs on the buildings. It looks like a time-aged, warm version of cauldron. There's a couple of buildings that you notice that are even I'm pretty sure that building is in Codron now, but it's here in ruins, almost like an identikit version of it. The most striking of these are 2 towers, which rise from the center of the town and are the closest points to the actual Black Pyramid itself. In most cases, the gap is way too large to be able to sort of navigate. However, there's two towers that sort of almost brush the underside of the pyramid. So if you wanted to actually get in the pyramid, those two towers look like your sort of focus of your investigation. Like Kodran itself, it is a walled city, and there are 3 gates, a north gate, an east gate, and a south gate. No, west gate it would be. You are traveling east, so it would be the west gate. And a south gate. Which gate are you heading towards? The closest is the west, obviously. The northern and the southern would require a little bit more travel because you'd have to go up or down. But it's up to you. Which gate do you want to head towards? And by gate, I mean a hole in the wall. Like, there's long gone away. There is no actual gate there anymore. It's long eroded.
Well, is the South Gate got the word Gareth above it by any chance?
It's got a big waistcoat. Yeah.
I think we'll just go for the easiest one. But obviously, keep on lookout, because,
Yeah, it seems a bit... I don't like going for the easy option all the time.
No, I know. You like the difficulty ones.
I think we should go to the north gate, because in the north, it is warm, because the more south we went, the colder it got.
I don't think the difference of 200, 300 meters or what yards, or... I'm not good with my distances. Will make a difference to how cold or warm you are feeling, right?
Well, 200 is a big number.
I know. I can't believe I thought of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you.
It's worth pant. You never know. I vote Northgate.
Northgate. All right. Come on, Bluey.
Yeah. So, decision of the Northgate, Yoldus rolls his eyes and he's, okay. I mean, he's doing no walking, but he's still riding along on his Ruckamole.
He's not in his loincloth still, right? I just want to double check.
No, he's wearing actually
just
quite...
splayed across his poor beast.
Yeah. No,
I hope he didn't overhear us spreading gossip about him as well.
No, he was waiting outside.
Yeah. He has quite sensible clothes on, neither his jangly bells nor his loincloth he's wearing.
Oh, thank God. That would be fucking irritating just to hear. Bang, bang, bang. How's it going?
He's been quite sullen the whole way. You kind of imagine quite hungover.
Did he win the last race?
He did, yes, he did.
Oh, congrats, mate.
Yeah.
Tell your face that, though.
As you make the decision to turn north, and he sort of groans again, says, I'm not coming in that city with you, don't you?
No.
Well, I pretty much assumed you were just here for show. Basically, you were going to do the minimum amount of effort for the maximum amount of payback.
Yeah.
Yes.
That pretty much...
On the nose, Red, I'm here for the publicity, and then I'm going to head back.
Right, but you realise, though, if we find anything interesting or amazing in there, then there's ours, finders keepers, and we...
That's going to be the story.
Yeah, and we'll share it, obviously, equally, a third each, but if you come in with us, well, it could be a quarter, and you could have something.
I have everything I need right here. And he puts his hand on his heart, and then slips his hand into his cloak and pulls out a hip flask. Right here. I'm fine.
Well, just think how much more of that you could get with the Pyramid Fortune.
Yeah.
Those horse races, you won, but I saw that you weren't quite dominating
no.
like you were.
Maybe your best years are behind you. No, I don't want to speculate on nothing.
He sort of sloshes it, and this is the same stuff you were drinking yesterday, and he just says, do you know what this is made out of?
I tend not to ask.
I believe rockamoles are involved in some horrible way.
My God.
He pats the rockamole that he's riding, and you realise that from under it at points there's been leakage, and rather like a racehorse, it has been producing a liquid.
Oh, good
You've
God.
got an inexhaustible supply then.
I'm fine.
You're drinking piss?
We've all been drinking piss.
Fuck.
Right, well, when people say get their rocks off, that's not what I thought.
That's not that. It's a whole new look at that phrase, Red. Well, fine. If you want to stay outside, fine by us. It's one less person to worry about.
Exactly.
Come into the city for us. That way, if there is a wind or if it rains, you can just wait in the house. I believe that you deserve some comfort. Don't you think so?
Do a persuasion check for me again, Ridge. I want to see if you can actually
Look at his little face.
3.
Oh my god!
Did you put any? Oh, you've got persuasion, haven't you?
As a skill, yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna drop you off here, take a image, and I'm heading back. And I'm going to bed.
Wait, you're heading back too? You're not even going to wait for us?
No,
You'll get no publicity then.
I'm gonna take a photo or a picture capture.
Well, I'm not taking a picture with you.
I've already taken a few.
Yeah, but not here.
By the time this disagreement works its way out, you've reached the North Gate.
Oh, it is warmer here. This is nice.
Leave it, mate. He's not worth
He's not
it.
worth it. No,
It's actually...
You've got us. You've got us.
I like you guys. I don't like him.
No. What did I say before? Prick.
That is true.
Yeah. Get your impressions of us. Not that loser.
As you get to North Gate, you're now actually under the shadow of the pyramid, and there is an even further noticeable drop in temperature. Any light that would make it has been absorbed, and it is dark under here. There's light obviously emanating from the side, but you're in shadow effectively this whole time. You notice that the lizards that live in the desert seem to be avoiding the shadow edge as you approach, and Bluey actually gets a little bit a little bit hesitant actually. Like, will come with, but obviously is a little bit upset by as you step under the shadow of the pyramid.
Do we feel anything? Is there like a sensible change? Other than obviously it gets colder, but is there like do we feel like, ooh, portal?
It feels, the most noticeable is there's almost a sound dampening effect under here as well. Any noise of wind is sort of, you would still expect to hear it because, you're still in the desert, but it's still there, but there really does feel like a sound dampening effect under this
Noise
thing.
Cancelling.
Yeah.
Noise cancelling pyramid. Okay.
It's got the bows.
Yeah. Don't we see branding?
Not see any branding. Yeah, it's just a giant picture of Dr. Dre.
I've got 3 torches in my bag, mates. I think we should spark them up.
Yeah, so these work as they're quite useful. You almost like a small orb that you activate, throw it up in the air, and then it'll hover around you. So it casts a glow around you.
A glow globe.
Glow globe, yes, exactly.
I've got 2 of those, yeah.
Yeah, they're quite useful because it means you don't have to worry about who's carrying the lantern and get bored.
I have a 2 oddity items, and one's a small glowing orb on a silver chain that I keep as a lucky charm. Will that light up for me too?
That is quite small. So oddities are a fun little thing. So I think I'm going to run through very quickly here as we enter an actual sort of more mechanical heavy element. You have ciphers and oddities. Ciphers are little one-shot things. They're kind of like magic items in something like Dungeons and Dragons, but they're very much one-shot. You use them once, they do what they do, then they dissipate. Oddities are more fun little things that don't really have a mechanical effect. They're just kind of fun. So in that case, while it is a little glowing thing, it's not a lot. It's not a strong glow at all, but it does glow. But yeah, you need to activate a glow globe in order to actually get the benefit of light.
All right. Well, I actually, 3 torches and I have 2 mini glow globes, so I can lend someone a glow globe.
I've got glow globes.
Yeah. Okay. Oral, I think I know you set me straight, but I think you can look after yourself, so I'm going to lend me a glow globe to Ridge if that's all right with you.
Oh, it's fine by me. Fine by me.
I think he needs it more than you do.
I think he does.
Excuse me?
I was just whispering to Oral. You didn't hear that. You're a glow globe, Ridge.
Yeah.
I would love one. I appreciate how kind you both are to me all the time and how you don't belittle me. Just throwing that out there.
No, we think you're amazing, so don't worry about it.
I get that a lot.
Yes, you can even. Good job.
So, most important question. Who's going first?
Will our band of inept heroes make it through the ruins and solve the mystery of the hovering Black Pyramid? Find out next time on What Am I Rolling? The The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded, and edited by me, Fiona Howat. This episode's players were Tristen, Noel, and Fiona. This episode's special guest GM was Rob, the Realm of Fire podcast. Listen to the Realm of Fire podcast wherever you find podcasts. This episode's RPG was Numenera, a science fantasy tabletop role-playing game set in the far distant future. Written by Monty Cook and published by Monty Cook Games. You can find out more about Numenera and buy your own copy on the Monty Cook Games website. That's montycookgames.com. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org, licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at WAIR_podcast for the latest news on upcoming episodes. And remember, adventurers need not apply.